I was pretty sure in the last 40 seconds of your match, I saw a little tiny miniature Bluetooth in your left ear, and your dad was yelling, "Foot sweep, foot sweep." Is that true or not? No.
No comment.
Tell us about that move.
I mean, a lot of guys like after the match came up to me and like asked me if I actually meant to foot sweep them, and it's actually, I mean, Andrew said earlier that he'd attest to that I actually do practice that move quite a bit, well, not like consistently all the time, but that I've hit it in practice a few times, and so it was actually something that I was, you know, conscientiously thinking about when I hit it. So.
Was there a sense of urgency, or how much of a sense of urgency was there at the end of that match?
A lot of urgency. I kind of started, you know, putting together to kind of keep our chances of winning alive. I'd have to win the match to, you know, keep that possibility open, and so. With about 30 seconds left, I could kind of assume how much time was left in my mind. I was, you know, got that sense of urgency that I needed to score takedown like immediately.
Can you like recall? Do you remember that going through that, or is it just kind of like a big blur and then they raise your hand?
I don't really like remember hitting like taking him down or like hitting the foot sweep, but I kind of remember like. Just like being on top of him with like my legs in and holding him down, and then like looking up at the clock and seeing it like count down from 8, and that everyone was pretty excited, and it was a good feeling.
Do you remember looking up and smiling like the last 2 or 3 seconds?
Yeah, they were making fun of me for that.
Very cool.
Travis, for you, how aware were you how big getting a major would be going into the match?
I knew coming into the duel that it would come down to bonus points. I guess I never really expected that was going to be in my match, really. But before the match, I knew if everybody won like I expected them to, it was going to be tied. So something needed to happen.
Andrew, take us through your match. We were talking, we don't think national champs have wrestled before in the same match, and yet, you know, you seem to handle everything pretty well. Could you get into that, talking about that a little bit?
Yeah, you know, it's just, you know, it was just another match, really. You know, that's how you got to approach him, I think, and it was a big match, and you know, that's why we train. That's what makes it fun to compete.
I know, talking to you on the radio, you talked about you had a game plan for that. Did the game plan kind of go like you thought, or did things happen in the match that you had to change up on some things a little bit?
Yeah, you know, I didn't really have a strict game plan, I guess, but I wrestled the way I wanted to wrestle. You know, I got to his legs, got up on bottom, and I was able to ride him a little bit, and so it went good.
All right, Larson, at what point did you go to the back and stop watching the duel and get ready? And then, I'm assuming, you were aware of the circumstance and everything before your match?
Yeah. I went back after the 57 match, and I went and actually laid on the couch and tried to calm myself, bring my heart rate down a little bit, because you know, the atmosphere really gets you riled up, and the nerves were going. But it helped that we got some momentum from these guys and brought the energy right back into me.
Well, let's talk about the low singles that you had to hit.
I actually got to my outside shot on Marsden, but just kind of had to get him to move and get that step and then hit the outside shot. And I knew I didn't want to get underneath him because he's got really heavy hips, but I was able to get to the side and get a takedown.
What were the emotions like before the match? You know, as you're walking from the back out into the arena, you know it's kind of on your shoulders.
Yeah, I was ready to go. I mean, Travis getting the major decision, I knew if I got the win, we were going to win the duel. So, but I wasn't nervous at all. I mean, just carried the momentum into the match, and I was ready to go.
Impressive.
What did you think of the crowd? I mean, you got really loud at certain matches in there.
It was awesome. That's just really the only word I can think of. It's amazing, the atmosphere. It's packed, big rivalry, probably the biggest one in my life as of now. I'm hoping to have some bigger ones, but yeah.
What does it mean to you guys to win the duel? And any one of you can jump in. I mean, coming back to win, the crowd the way it was. Obviously, the program's coming back with big crowds and things now, so how does it make you guys feel to get this win? Andrew, if you want to.
You know, it's great. It was one of the most exciting wrestling environments I've ever I've ever been in, and I think all of us could probably say that. But you know, we got to do it again. Really. You know, it feels really good, but we gotta do it again in I think February, and then Big 12s and at the NCAAs.
Yeah, he's right. It feels great right now, but there's so much more to come yet. So kind of use it as a stepping stone, I guess, get the momentum rolling.
What's it like facing, you know, a competitive team this early in the season when, you know, you have your mind on the end goal, you know, you don't want to be deterred from your goals of, you know, national championship. I mean, is it tough, you know, or do you prefer playing, you know, wrestling against a good team early in the season?
Yeah, you want to wrestle all the guys. You want to see everybody before the national championship, the way I look at it anyways. So the more you see them, it's good. It is hard to beat the same guy 3-4 times, but it's still, the competition is good, and to build that momentum is great to roll into Big 12s and nationals. So.
Danny, I'm curious, your dad had some big moments here. I don't know how many matches, I mean, were you prepared for that? For this at all, from what he talked to you about, or was it totally even more intense than you thought maybe it would be?
I mean, yeah, I can kind of remember him talking to me about, you know, his moments wrestling here, some of the teams that he was on that were very, you know, highly successful teams that, like, he's told me a lot of stories about when he had, you know, wrestled in Bedlam and kind of the crazy matches that had happened and some of those stories. So it's a little bit surreal, kind of like, I feel like I just kind of blinked, and now I'm kind of creating my own moments and memories with my team.
Guys, this is the first Bedlam competition match for all of you. Where does it rank, I guess, as far as some of the other things? What was the atmosphere like? Can you talk about that at all? Any of you?
It was great. Like I said, it was one of the most exciting environments I've ever been able to participate in, and just I don't know if there was a seat open in the field house, and that just, you know, that makes it so much better when fans come out and support us. It just kind of raises the atmosphere a little.
Is that kind of the reason you, I guess, came to OU? Stuff like today?
Yeah, you know, it's a big rivalry, but you know it's going to be a lot of fun. So, yeah.
Andrew and Travis, as leaders of the team, I mean, when you guys are down 15-3 like that, what's your message to your teammates? And both of you still yet to wrestle as well. I mean, what's your message to your team, your mindset, trying to get everyone focused and you know, back in it?
Didn't I guess really talk to anyone, but just kind of, you know, going out there and getting the ball rolling. You know, we needed to get a win, and you know, that was for me at least, and putting ourselves in a position where we could come back and win.
I guess I was just trying to refocus my energy, to keeping positive, trying to stay a little more lighthearted, telling jokes, type of thing. Keep my mind off that scoreboard, what the score was anyways.
So you're telling us he doesn't talk, but you talk?
Yep.
Yeah.
Any more questions?
Danny, so how important was your final takedown, leg sweep, and near fall of Crutchemer? How important was that in swaying the motion in favor of you guys?
I would say that, I mean, a lot of it was from, I don't know, like, it was a whole team effort, but I would definitely say that was a significant moment that helped change the, you know, direction that the dual meet was going in.
Congratulations, guys.
Thanks, fellas.
Thank you, guys.